Hollywood, this is the KTLA Morning News.
Moving on.
But of course you're busy. You're not only
busy.
going to the Golden Globes, you're doing all kinds of things.
Sarah has become the spokesperson for SOS Children's Village USA, and the executive director of this organization, Christopher Zappia, is here. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
What is it that Sarah is helping you accomplish?
She's helping us to tell Americans that we exist. We've been around for 50 years. SOS is the largest children's charity in the world. We operate in 132 countries. Most Americans have never heard of us before. The Duchess was generous enough to, 2 years ago, nominate us for the Conrad Hilton Humanitarian Prize, which is sort of the Nobel Prize of Humanitarian Awards. We won that. It was a $1 million prize, put the whole $1 million towards children's AIDS projects in Africa. And she and I met, and she's now become our spokesperson for SOS USA.
And Chris runs SOS Children's Villages, but from the heart, not from the mind. He goes into the field and he makes sure every child is being listened to and looked after. I promise you, I've been to these villages. It's not an orphanage. Very important for people to understand that. It's about a way of life. They get a house, the house mother. They really are given a chance. Education, humor, and siblings staying together.
So specifically, what do? You go out and you build what?
We create families where there would not be families before. Our main focus is to build a children's village, which a village is 10 to 15 houses. Each house has anywhere from 5 to 10 children, depending on the culture of the country. So in the US and in Western Europe, it's usually 5 children per house, because it's closer to the standard. In Asia and Africa, 10, sometimes 11 children per house.
I think sometimes people feel this sort of disconnect to a degree. If someone sends a donation to you, what happens?
If you send us a check and say $100 and we want this to go to SOS Uganda, 100% of your $100 goes to SOS Uganda. We do not take out anything from that. We're a straight pass-through organization. If you send us a check and say, here's $100, use it where you need it most, that's best for us, because then we can put it into the countries and the projects that we have.
Now, Sarah said something very interesting to me just a few minutes ago. She said, you know, there's this big push to the tsunami victims to get out there right now to help them with the immediate need. A year from now, they may be in our distant memory and we won't be doing anything. You always keep track, and she says she's going to go a little bit later instead of hitting it right now.
That's right.
What's the wisdom there?
We take care of a child for their life. So we have relief efforts going on in the tsunami-affected countries right now: Sri Lanka, India, Indonesia. We will be building 2 new villages because of this, another village in Sri Lanka and a village in Indonesia. But when a child comes into one of our villages, if they come in when they're 1 year old, they stay with us until they graduate from university, and we take care of everything. So it's not just, here, we'll feed you for a year or so, good luck. You become our family.
Just quickly, when Charlie arrived at one of the villages, he'd arrived with his boots on, and he'd been on his pair of boots, and he wouldn't take his boots off, and he was put into the bed with his boots on, because he said, no, everywhere I've gone, I have to move on the next day, so I'm going to keep my boots on. Eventually, after a few weeks, he took his boots off because he was safe. So it's a great organization.
If you want to join the organization, there's log-on information, a website for you to take a look at. It is www.sos.4.kids. Phone number, excuse me, that's the phone number, 888-SOS4-KIDS. www.sos-usa.org. What good work you're both doing, Sarah. You should be proud of what you're doing.
Well, I'm off to support them in a couple of months.
Here's one of the villages right there.
I've never heard of such a program. And this is great. Like you say, they come in and it's not a year or two. It's not a help, and then you're on your own. You're there until you're 18.
Absolutely. Mayor Daley is a big supporter of ours here in the United States, and the city of Chicago donated the land and the money to build the first urban village, which we just opened up on the south side of Chicago last year.
So this isn't just all over the world. There are local ones. Is there any future in LA for any plans? Or
that's up to everybody listening. If we can get the funds to do that, we would love to have a village here. Arnold Schwarzenegger, our governor, is a supporter of ours as well, because we're an Austrian-based organization, and the governor has some ties to Austria.
Just a few, yeah.
Christopher, thanks so much. What a pleasure.
Thank you
for coming in.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
You did well, Chris.
Excellent.
You're proud of him.
You got a big trip coming up.
I think he should swap places with me.
No. Not a chance.
All right, we move on now. The idol maker is making magic.